Jerry Teabag Hack, we've been talking about him all show, the author of Memoirs of a Hockey Nobody. I was just on his podcast last weekend. I thought we'd return the favor, and by the time we're all done here, we're going to sell out all his books and make him a national bestseller. What's with the jersey, bro? Is it because it's Canucks game day, or what's the deal, Jerry?
Yeah, this is my favorite jersey from the Canuck era. It's from the Naslin, Bertuzzi, Morrison era, and from these jerseys, it was my favorite, so I decided to wear it today. I'm a long-suffering Canuck fan.
Yeah, very interesting you say that, because the first guy I thought of when I saw that was Mark Messier.
Oh, Messier wasn't really well liked here. From what I understand, the teammates loved him, but he came and he was here for 3 years, and the Canucks never made the playoffs during those 3 years. So, yeah, it's kind of a sore point with a lot of Canucks fans.
I'm so sorry. That's what I just don't get it. That's Vancouver and BC sports fans are just their own thing. That's what Ed Willis has told me from the Vancouver province, and I don't get it, and I don't need to get it. But let me ask you this. As they're in Tampa tonight, what's your take on this team? Did you watch the opening 2 wins over the Oilers?
I did, and they looked very good. I was surprised at the opener when Edmonton just looked like they could just show up and win. And so the Canucks took advantage of that. And then to win the second game was really a surprise, but really they had no business winning that game. I mean, Edmonton was completely dominant in the second period. They should have scored 5 goals, but Casey DeSmith, he played really well, and the Canucks managed to just gut one out. And that good teams win when they don't play well, but they really, really wet the bed on against Philly. They looked disjointed and uninterested, and it was. We'll see what happens tonight in Tampa if they can redeem themselves.
Well, I'm interested to see them Saturday when they come through Sunrise here. But thank you for the analysis, Jerry. You obviously know the game. We've talked about that. For those that don't know, I just have a tough time believing people wouldn't know, but Memoirs of a Hockey Nobody, your book, is very nearing best-selling author status, best-selling status, and it deserves to be because it's that good of a book. For those that don't know, can you tell folks about it?
Well, I started playing hockey when I was 18 after I graduated high school. My parents couldn't afford to have me play minor hockey, so I always wanted to be a goalie. I played street hockey with my friends growing up, and I was obsessed with stopping the dreaded hockey ball. And so when I was 18 and I could afford skates and equipment, I managed to get a tryout with a beer league team, and that led me on a 35-year journey where I made it to semi-pro and managed to make some money doing it. And it was a great journey. I met a lot of crazy people and played in Saskatchewan for 3.5 years. I was in California for a couple of months, and then I made my way to Whitehorse in the Yukon, and I played there for 2 years. And I met a lot of crazy people who had a lot of crazy stories to tell, and a lot of them are in the book. And it was a fun ride.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't say that. I'm the broadcaster. Memoirs of a Hockey Nobody, Jerry Teabag Hack. And the connection here, and I don't know how you found me, Jerry, but you sent me the book, and it was during COVID, I think. I started reading it, and I'm like, hey, I was at his games. It was cross-referencing the years, and it was the Assiniboia Southern Rebels against the Milestone Flyers. For those that don't know, it was senior hockey back then, which was its own sort of semi-pro, because there weren't as many semi-pro leagues back then as there are now. But I guess it's been a while since your book was in the public nature. You know this, right? Every time I mention it or you come on, it shoots up to Amazon's #1 list, so maybe it needs a bump, Jerry.
Yeah, it does. I've been on a few of these shows, and people have. The thing that surprised me most about the book is that professional writers tell me how well written it is, and I was a C student in English in high school, so that's what really surprised me. And I think it was Greg Oliver who got me in touch with you, and he
Interesting.
gave me your Facebook contact information, and that's how I got a hold of you.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you write from here, and I broadcast from here, and people seem to like that. I live from here, and I can tell that you do too. You know, I don't know why that's so rare in this world, but whatever. You got to tell me about the Stan Fischler situation, because was that this summer? I was very busy this summer with stuff going on in Calgary and so forth. I didn't really get what was going on there. How'd you make that connection with the Hockey Hall of Fame writer out of New York?
Yeah, that was a friend of mine, George Grimm in New York, who's written two books about the New York Rangers. He read Memoir of a Hockey Nobody, and he loved it, and he wrote a really nice review on Amazon. And of course, being from New York, he had the contact with Stan Fischler, so he gave me Stan's email. And so I emailed him, never thinking he would answer back, but he answered back right away, and I offered to send him the book. He lives in Israel, so it took a couple weeks to get to him, but he absolutely loved it. And then he asked if I had written anything else, and I said, "Yeah, well, I've written a novel," and and so I sent him that, and he absolutely loved that. And so through a really weird cosmic twist of fate, I ended up in New York at the same time he was getting inducted into the New York State Hockey Hall of Fame. So I actually got to meet him, and it was funny because he was excited to meet me, which just
Yeah.
totally blows me away. Like, I sat next to him, he had his back to me. The chair was open, so I just sat next to him. He was talking to somebody else. Then he turned and looked at me, and his eyes went wide. He goes, "My hero!" And so, yeah, just
Well,
we've formed a friendship, and yeah, it's been truly amazing. I mean, this is a guy I've read from the time I was a kid, and so yeah, it just totally blows me away the doors that have been opened for me by writing this book.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, that tells you that he's a good guy. Because one time I was doing a banquet with Paul Coffey. I'd never met him, and he was an idol of mine, obviously. And they were reading, the MC read off my bio before they brought Paul Coffey onto the stage. So then Coffey came out, and he goes, "I should be interviewing you." And I looked at him like, "Don't make fun of me." And I found out later his agent was like, "No, no, no, Koff, he respects people that have done something in life." He was serious. Same thing as you. Stan respects that you wrote a great book. And we got to get you in the club, which is the bestseller club. You're not that far away. So how can people get there, as Jerry? And I would not steer people wrong, by the way. If you love hockey, you'd love this book. How can they get their hands on it?
It's available on Amazon, of course, and then there's a few other websites, Barnes and Noble, Indigo Chapters, so you can order from there. There's a few others. It's in a couple of bookstores, but it's not widely distributed. If you go into a local bookstore, I'm sure they can order it for you. And yeah, it's pretty easily acceptable, and yeah, it really changed my life. And it was scary when I released it because I thought, I'm really leaving myself out there. People were going to learn a lot about me that they didn't know before, and so yeah, it's just so far exceeded my expectations that I can't help but be just so humbled by it.
Well, I'm very happy for you, and I'll be real happy. Maybe we can get together the day that we'll have a bestseller celebration. I'll come out to Vancouver for that. But folks, pick it up. Jerry, where can they find you online, by the way? Facebook would be one way, but anything else?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, at JerryHack7 on Twitter and JerryHack33 on Instagram. I'm not very good at Instagram, so I don't go on it a whole lot. But Facebook and Twitter, I'm on a lot. So anybody wants to get a hold of me, it's very easy.
Okay, bud. Thanks for the time. Keep her rolling again. Go Canucks.
Yeah, go Canucks, go, and we'll see how they do tonight in Tampa.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. Jerry Teabag Hack, and the nickname comes from everything goes through him like a teabag. He's a goalie.
Approved.
It's a goalie thing. It's a goalie thing.